Hey, nurse CEOs. Thank you so much for tuning into the Nurse Boss Shift, where shift happens. Listen, while Kiiyonna and I love being entrepreneurs, we really love how it has allowed us to invest not only in ourselves, but for generations to come. We had to start the Nurse Boss Shift off by talking to Miss Donna, aka Dollar Donnas. In this episode, we hear about her money journey and how she retired with over $1 million in her retirement portfolio, why investing is so important to her, and how she just purchased a whole hotel. That's right, her second, in fact. This episode is sure to help you shift your money mindset. So let's get into it.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Nurse Boss Shift. Welcome, guys. We are so excited because we have a sister, a fellow nurse sister, who's going to come in here and drop all the tea on money.
Yes.
As her name reflects, Miss Dollars.
Dollar Donna.
Donna. So we are excited to have this conversation, and we're gonna just go ahead and dive in because it's so much questions we gotta ask, and actually a lot that we're gonna learn from you.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Ms. Donna, give us a little background about yourself, and you're a nurse. So just give us a little background about your nursing background, how long you've been a nurse, and
okay. So I am, there we go. There I am. As I want to say. So I'm going to keep playing with this, but I'm going to keep on talking. So I am a retired nurse of 25 years. I just retired in December. Lovely career, cardiac nurse, floor nurse. My biggest thing with nursing is that love nursing. I did my time. But when it was time to go, I left I left nursing with over $1 million. So I made my money while I was there. So I did what I loved, worked and left, and now I'm doing what I love even more so. So it's got a two-part scenario to it. Nursing was given to me. My mother passed away at the age of 47 of a massive heart attack. She was addicted to drugs, and it just killed her heart. And so that is what led me to be a cardiac nurse. And, that's how I became, it was my last semester in nursing. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And that kind of told that story. I wanted to know what happened to my mother. Love nursing, but I was raised by my godparents who had a love for my godfather, who only had an 8th grade education, loved numbers, but he just didn't know a lot about it. So all he knew was how to be very, very organized, very disciplined, and how to balance his checkbook that he got every Friday. So that's the first step into me loving numbers, is I had to learn how to balance his checkbook down to 0.03 cents before he picked his check up. And that was how much we gonna make if you did overtime. So I learned about FICA and state and all these things. I used to say, who is this FICA taking money out of my check? So, because I always worked from the age of 14 with my dad. So I saw the withholding. So I learned how to read a check stub as early as the age of 14, 13, which people, these young people don't know a lot of. And so it's always interested me. I kind of like the fact that I'm kind of like the rich dad, poor dad scenario, because I had my mother who, she wasn't poor, she was a working woman, but she was on drugs. So she would spend her money. And I had my hardworking father who just worked, but was pretty much poor still, had a home, but just lower middle class, but rich in value, rich in knowledge, and rich in what he taught me. I would go with my mom. She would get paid. She would go to the check cashing place, cash her check, and she would take a wad out of her check and stick it to me and say, here you go. I go to my dad's. I had to balance the checkbook, know exactly how much 10% I would keep to save. To this day, 10% of everything you earn is yours to keep. And I would put that away into my savings account. And I would ask my mother, is this 10%? Or how do you know how much money you have from the discipline from my dad. So that's where the money part kind of started. And that rolled into nursing because I never forgot that, but yet I loved taking care of people. So it kind of welded itself together until I found I couldn't stand it no more. In 2011, I had to do both.
Yes. So what let's can we talk about just a little bit about what you love about nursing before we get into the other part?
Yes, yes. So my love for nursing is first of all, I am so thankful to God for giving me a heart to love people. Some people have to work hard to just love and nourish and want to appreciate things. They have to work at it. That I don't have to think twice about that. So I just thank God every day for giving me that heart of love and the heart to help and the heart of sincerity. Just a loving spirit that I think that just comes natural to me. And what better way to give that back than to help take care of somebody? I love doing floor nursing, going to my patients. I love cleaning them, my aides. Of course, when I got busy, I couldn't. What I couldn't do, I didn't do. But if I could do it, I do everything because I just love my patients being clean. I love reading to them. I just like seeing them come in sick and leave better. Feeling better, out of pain. The homeless people, I make sure they got clean. They came in with bugs. I make sure they got showers. I just like knowing when I went home that I made a difference. And my philosophy in everything that I do is when I cross the finish line in every area, every career, every person, that I look back and say, job well done. So nursing did that to me.
Yes. Did you finish in as a cardiac nurse? Is that what you retired?
I did. When I left, I was a heart failure coordinator. So I was on the floor the entire time as a cardiac nurse, floor nurse. So I didn't do post-op and surgery. I was the one when they came from ER after they had the chest pain right before they went to surgery. So a lot of the prep, a lot of congestive heart failure. So and then some other multi-organ disciplines. So I got a little bit of everything, diabetes. So I got other things, but specialty was cardiac, and then I went to heart failure because once again, my mom died of a massive heart attack. So it was always my passion to find out and to be able to educate, especially our Black men, our young Black men that would come in because they had been doing drugs, and talk to them a little bit about, here's my story. If you don't stop, my mother was 47 and this is what happened. So I had a story to tell them to look into, to say this, this it ain't real out here. This is real. It is real. Things has happened. This did happen. So your daughter over there, just kind of take a look at it and see she could be me. Yeah. So just, I wanted to make a difference with my story in somebody who was in the same predicament as my mom was. That was very important. So I always made sure that I got the patient, especially young Black men. I wanted to take care of them because I wanted to talk to them, tell them my story so that, you just don't know. 1 out of 10, 2 people might hear and might change. All you need is one person to make a difference.
Right. So 25 years, the money climate is definitely different than what it was 4 years ago. Just period.
Yes.
Profession.
Yes.
What would you tell nurses that they, like new nurses, that probably are going to be at the bedside for 25 years or maybe not?
Yes.
What would you tell them about money, or what's something about money that you would want them to know that maybe you didn't know when you started this journey?
So I would know mainly is to, to appreciate it, so money doesn't do anything unless you tell it to do it. So my motto is dollars have a destination. So as right now, nursing coming in is like, it's not the salaries that we came in with. So they're walking into a bunch of money coming from maybe not having a lot. So knowing early what to do with it when you start this new wonderful career, understanding what you have to offer when you go on that interview, what that current job is going to offer you that's going to benefit your financial situation. You don't want to just take a job because it's a job. You want to love nursing, but you can go to a place that you love and still respect the money that you're going to get from it if they're going to give you the value that you're worth. So finding out, do multiple interviews so that you can see, okay, what's your retirement packages look like? Because while you're there, you got to start thinking about retirement at that moment. The day you work is the day you think about it, because you want to leave early. Nursing is, even though it's a fulfilling job, it is still, it's hard on your back, it's hard on your mind, it's hard on your how you think about things. It's emotional, so you get emotionally drained. These pediatric nurses, they take that home. So it's not, a 70-year career. It's not something that you want to be doing, because you want to be able to give all you have, but save some for your family and save some for retirement. So the minute you start working, think about retirement on day one. The things that I would have done differently, that first 3 years, it's like, I want every money. I want all my money. I want all my money. I stopped. I didn't put money aside. And had I done that from the beginning, I would have walked away with even more. And just remember, going in, you came in not making anything. So that large dollar amount, you're not going to miss it if you give away 15% at the beginning. Right. Sounds like a lot of money, but when you didn't have, when you were making what's the minimum wage, 15-20, and you go from 15-20 to in California 70 and 80.
Say, you got to clarify, because some people in other
so I'm talking about California,
right, and Northern California, which is the highest paying.
But our housing doesn't let us live, so it's all going back to housing.
Right. Yes. So I definitely need to clarify, California is the highest paid nurses, I believe that there are. So, but wherever you are, you got to think about, even in a state that might have a lower salary, the cost of living is accountable to that salary. So even such, the nurses are still making more than someone who's working at a grocery store. So you're still at a higher level for that community. So going into your career at that moment, just put it aside right then. Get into the habit of paying yourself first. Key one, pay yourself first. We pay Uncle Sam, we pay FICA, we pay all before we get our check, and then we just live off the rest. We never pay ourselves. So start doing that, first is the first thing. Find out where you're going, interview them with knowing not only just what they pay, but what's the benefits that they have that's going to help escalate you to the next level if you're going to be there for 5, 10, 15 years. So understanding that about the jobs is real important. I would do that differently.
Okay.
What about travel nurses?
Yeah.
So
we gotta talk about that. That wasn't 25 years. I'm sure there were travel nurses 25 years ago, but they are really banking a lot of dough.
Yes.
What are they doing wrong?
And
so they are, I don't know, this myth of I'm not going to pay no taxes and I don't, going exempt. I do not know for the love of me where that came from, but stop it. Stop it. I am a tax preparer also. Okay. So part of what I do with my nurses is I get a, 200-300, whatever you're making as travel nurses, you make all this wonderful money. And nothing's been put away, nothing's been purchased, and nothing's been paid to Uncle Sam. And so you get stuck with this really large bill that, it's not your money. It's either got to get invested, you got to buy something, put it somewhere, or you got to pay it. Yeah. So there's only 3 ways. It's going to go one way or the other.
Can you say that again? Those 3 things? Because people in the back need to hear it. Can you say it again?
So you got to invest it.
Yes.
You got to buy something with it that is investable, or you got to pay Uncle Sam with it. So we want to pay Uncle Sam the least amount. So the other 2 will allow you to do that. The second way, meaning buy something with it, that means a business.
Yes.
So you're going to invest and you're going to get a business and you're going to pay Uncle Sam the rest.
Okay. Yeah.
Those 3 things. That's why you have people like us, the entrepreneur nurses. That side gig, you got to get that side gig to put some of that money over into there. Use your money to pay for your side gig while you're making a lot of money to get the deductions so that you don't owe Uncle Sam, who is not your uncle, at the end of the day.
Yes, and that's what I try to preach to nurses is, at least get a side hustle or something you can invest your money in, Because you'll look up and,
Right.
those nurses who are 70, 75, still on the floor,
Right.
acting like they love it.
Right.
No, they just can't retire
Tired.
because they didn't make the right investments with their money. So at least get
Investments.
a side business or something. We can't just keep making all this money hiding from Uncle Sam, thinking that he's not going to
Correct.
find us.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And you know that little rat race that they talk about, the little revolving, you get on there, you just work. You can't work your way into wealth. You cannot. There's only so many hours in a day. I am that one who worked, my longest stretch was 28 days straight. I don't even know right now what the hell I was trying to buy. I don't even know. I worked. I was like, I'll come in. 28, because I worked at two jobs. You can't do that with one job. But the other job, nursing is so bad that they don't even, you can even get fired and go to another place. I mean, there's no career that's as good as this career. They won't let us go. We just got so many avenues, but we don't know how to monetize on the money from it. So I worked 2 different jobs, and I would work 4 days here, the other 3 there, come in for a double here, 28 days straight. 2 things happened. I got killed in taxes. So I could have worked 12 and got the same money that I made with the 28 because I got taxed so high.
Yes.
That's number 1. Number 2, I got so sick, I was down for 3 weeks.
Yep.
So now I just got sick pay.
Ooh.
If I had enough PTO, paid time off. So a lot of people don't have that. Nurses, because they work, then they get sick and be off. So where's the balance? So travel nursing, so good, is such a wonderful opportunity that this era is offering for travel nurses. But take advantage of it. Use all this cash. Get you some real estate. Get that side hustle and fund the hustle with the money that you're making. Fund that so that you can, again, get tax write-offs from that. Get you some real estate. Find other options. Invest into other real estate, hotels, wink, wink, we'll talk about later. Any other things, any other assets that's going to bring you back, more money. Dollars have a destination, and you want to send them out so that they can bring back friends. Friends that are not taxable. And that takes seasoning. Because if it's taxable, you might as well went out and worked.
Right.
Yeah.
You might as well went out and work. So you buy a commercial. Go ahead.
Nurses don't know. So when you say they need to put it out, bring some friends back, and the friends need to not be taxable, you're going to have to unpack that.
Right. That's a lot.
So we work. So I'm a nurse. And I got a big travel assignment, that COVID money, bring it home, that $20K, $30K a week, ain't paid no taxes in, and I'm exempt. So I got this big old check deposited into my checking account on Friday, $19,473.
Okay.
I took that. Now it's not taxed, first of all. So Uncle Sam, at the end of the year, he gonna want his 25 or 30%, because after you make a certain amount, you automatically in the high tax bracket. So instead of having that money hit the account, let it hit the account. But then the next destination is to know, now what am I going to do with this money? So I've been looking at this commercial building over here that all I need to do is have this amount of money down, have my credit score at this point, and I can pay cash for that deposit, put that money into this commercial building, which is going to bring me back revenue that is not as taxable because it's in a commercial building lane as the direct dollar that's just sitting into my bank account, not gaining 0.03% interest. So you got taxed on it when it hits your account. Because you're paying taxes on it, you're gonna get that little the statement saying you got this amount of money in here. You get charged, you get paid, you get taxed on that money from the bank. They're gonna send you something saying this is the interest that you gained from it. Oh yeah, and then you get taxed on it. That money is gonna get taxed 3 to 4 different times. But we sit on it and don't send it out because we think we as nurses and as Black women and as Black people, we hold on to it because we're afraid. We don't know. We don't trust. So we just hold on to it. And while we're holding, it's steadily going down in value because taxation is decreasing what it's worth. So instead, you want to deploy it into an asset. When that asset makes money, when I say come back bringing friends, that's the revenue from the asset. That building gets rented out and it brings in revenue. Now, that revenue is going to be in an LLC, which is a business. Now, that business revenue is separate from your individual, tax different, because businesses, remember, are taxed. Make the money, deduct, live off the rest. When you are not have a business, you make the money, taxed, and then live off the rest. So you want money to go to that right side in that business, in that real estate. Take that one rental that you're going to get and put it in an LLC to make it a business. Find something you're going to that you're going to invest in, so that when it brings back friends, revenue from the asset, that the taxation is definitely different. So that's what I mean. Bring back friends and make the friends least taxable.
Wow.
I love that. I really do.
So,
and it's so important. And I love that you didn't. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love that you didn't focus on entrepreneurship, because a lot of nurses get intimidated by, like, they don't want to start a business.
Right.
And so I always say, you don't have to start a business, but you definitely need a stream of, and you need something you're going to invest in. What's your take on that?
Other than starting a business, there's a few different ways you can do so. There's a few, but there's only a couple, especially when you don't know a lot. But the easiest way, if you don't want to start a business, then the other way is then you have to invest. And that's where the fear comes from. What am I going to invest in? How am I going to, what's my risk aversion? How risky am I? How much can I afford to lose? And in any situation, in any state, when it comes to money, the number one rule is you never invest what you can afford to lose. You never invest what you can't afford to lose. Now, if you lose in it because it's sitting in the bank account, then you can afford to lose 10% of that. So you need to invest it instead. That philosophy is not taught to us. We just no, we just gonna once again hold on to it. So entrepreneurism is definitely number one, but everybody running a business, we always said, we're just learning even at this late stage of the game, profits first, how to run a business, how to be Mrs. Fields instead of the company on the at the end of the block working 12, 14 hours a day. Which one of this, we don't want to leave our job just to go into entrepreneurism and go into another job. It's just, and then say, I'm my own business. You're still working all kind of hours. So that takes some maneuvering too. So I understand that. But part of if nurses and recognize that what they're doing, if they kind of have an idea of how long they want to do what they want to do, and then start working on their exit strategy. I believe in exit strategies for all jobs. People say, well, I'm gonna leave at 65. Where'd that number come from? That was dictated to us because that was and that number ain't even 65 no more, it's 72. So they're trying to make us work to 72 before we can drive our, pull from our Social Security, which is not going to be there. So you dictate your life, and you dictate it based on what you think you want to do with your family, with your friends, with your retirement, if you want to travel, if you want to stay home, if you want to have multiple houses, and how are you going to get there? So we always have strategies for everything else, but we don't have a strategy for our personal life, including our job. We're nurses, we take care of everybody, but we don't take care of ourselves personally and entrepreneurially in our entire life. So going into that job with I'm going to be making all this money. Okay, if I can make this and I want to leave nursing at the age of 40, what does that look like? How much money do I need? And calculating what I call the freedom number, that freedom number. How much money do you need to have as passive income to take care of yourself without working every day for how many years? So understanding that number, and you can learn that number, even all of us right now, is adding up your main four things is your rent. I don't count car, your food, your utilities. If COVID hit today, what things do you need to really take care of yourself? Those things. Car, no, we didn't care about no car. What no cars on the road. They was waiving that. So, but you got to eat. You got to have lights and you have to pay your mortgage. Even that was being waived, but you want to count that and you multiply that. So I would say 3 to 6 years, and you put that away. So these nurses making all that money, your freedom number should be put to the side for up to a year, even this chunk of money. So if you have that put away, then you can leave, start your new entrepreneur business. You can take the additional money, start a side business. You can take that money, buy real estate. You can get into the stock market. You can learn whatever side hustle that you thought you wanted to do. Everybody doesn't want real estate. You want to invest in old cars. You really like it. Whatever is going to be your passion that you think you can give your energy to, that is going to be an asset. It has to be an asset, meaning it has to be able to bring money back to you in some form or shape.
Yes.
Love it. Where did all this, when did the mindset shift happen for you? Because you told us you grew up with money, but when did you start getting into other investments or getting into investments and that whole deal versus just saving, but really getting into investments and learning what you can do with it?
So my biggest mind shift happened because I really thought my parents used to tell me how smart I was, and I hated it. But when I got my first job in college, they never wanted me to work because they just said, go to school. I want you to get straight A's. That's not a good thing. We need to work. I needed to know how to earn money also. I knew how to save, save, save. And the day came when I went and got a job anyway. It was at a shoe store. And I can remember when the lady gave me a $50 bill, and I did not know how to count change back to her, and I was devastated. It was like 24.58. And I looked at the lady at the register like, how much do I give her back? Because I calculated saving, but I didn't know money. I didn't understand the value, just even that little piece. It's almost like the kids today, they just use calculators, but they can't count the things that really, really, really matter. And I got fired. My first job, and I got fired. I was a straight A. Everything was always right for me. So that was like my first downer. Like, I'm not perfect. Oh no, life is going to stop. And so at that point, I said, I will always understand money. I will never have that happen again. And I went and bought money books.
Okay.
I just like, I was just so heartfelt broken. And that's not what I think for me was God was positioning me to do what I do now and love it the way I love it so that nobody else will have to go in that direction and have that happen. Just understand basic principles of things that is everyday life that could help benefit you. Know who to ask. Know, that number is just kind of off. Just appreciating and respecting the value of that dollar and not just throwing it out the door. So I don't expect anybody else to have that dramatic shift, but I needed to have that to do what I do now. And so from that point on, went through school. And then as a nurse, the second part happened when I was started putting this money into my 401k, and I just kept seeing it grow. And then I just saw it stop growing. And so I just started teaching myself how to understand the 401ks. And once I said, well, what if I do this? And so I self-taught myself, read books on how to manage my retirement account. Once I learned that, and started making more money than anybody else there. So I called my friend and I said, hey, let me look at your retirement account. Let me juggle it. And I did hers. And then before I know it, I had nurses from all over the floor coming on their break. Hey, can you adjust my retirement account? Can you do? So I was like, oh, yeah. And I said, if I had a degree, I could charge people for this. I could help. Because I was doing like after work, before work. It's just like the whole hospital was coming. I had a couple of doctors come in and have me help them understand their retirement account. And I said, well, you read it here. This number means this. And so I liked it. I was like, So that was the first start. Then I got 6 nurses together and I made my first investment club. And I taught myself the stock market. So I started studying that because what's in your retirement account? Stocks. It's just in the form of mutual funds. And from that, it just kind of, it just all raveled together really easily for me. And when something comes easy for you in whatever you do, that's probably your niche. When it's just something you love and it comes easy for you without, so that was my niche for me and other nurses. What's your niche for you? If your niche is different, that's probably your side hustle, which
Yeah.
it was my side hustle. Now it's my job. So, do what you love and love what you do, and then it will no longer be work.
Well,
Yeah.
Miss Donna, what's when it comes to retirement? Because you have people, the gurus out here saying do
Yes.
it up, right? Some people like don't touch it, leave it there. Some people are like take it out and you can do it yourself.
Yes.
What and realistically, you have a passion for this, but the average nurse is not about to learn
Right.
mutual funds and stocks and this and that. What is
Right.
something that is practical for us
So
average nurses to do?
right. If you're working, the first thing is you definitely need to put that maximum amount away, because you don't know. You need to have it managed.
Okay.
I self-manage, so you still need to, and there's management companies out there. But I still say, even with managing it, you still got to educate yourself a little bit. You need to know, and that's a little part that I teach. So knowing first that you do need to put something away, because if you don't, you're going to get taxed on that entire amount, because
Mm-hmm.
what you put away for retirement, that's post-tax money. That's not taxable. So you make 100K, you put away 20, you're only taxed on 80. Your first tax strategy. That's your first financial strategy. These nurses are making all this money. They're not even putting anything away into the retirement. That's your first protection of taxes right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's protected for now and for later. So putting it somewhere, you have your IRAs, individual retirement account. You can do that with a job, or you can do that as a travel nurse, because you can still have a self-directed or Roth IRAs outside of employers. So knowing that you do need to find, I recommend like Vanguard and Fidelity. Vanguard has the least amount of fees, and they have really good vehicles that they manage really well. You don't want to have a company that's not one of the top 5 if you don't know anything at all, because the liability for them is a lot higher. They don't have as many vehicles, which means your money is not making as much money in that plan. You do want a plan where a company that you can call them. My second eye opener was when I was teaching myself and learning this. I would go see the managed, because you get assigned a person that's assigned to your account. And I made it a point to go see him every quarter. I didn't know what I was going to ask him, but I was learning. But I'm saying, these nurses, you don't know, but you don't want to not know nothing.
Right.
Because if you don't manage your money, somebody else will, and they don't always have your best interests at hand.
Ooh, right.
So if you don't care about it, what makes you think they care about it?
Right.
So if they just know that you are even kind of interested, they're going to do a little bit more. They're going to appreciate that. Oh, you know what? She's checking. They don't know what you know. So make it a point once a quarter. Hey, can I come in and see what's going on? A question that you might not even know that might even be relevant. Tell me how you came up with this for me. Let them tell you. So you don't have to go read the books to get it. Just answer the questions for someone who's managing your money, what you want to know. Yeah. How are they doing? How did I do last quarter? Tell me what you base that on. So you ask the questions that you want to know. That way you're not going in knowing and asking them if they're telling the truth. You let them tell you the truth. This guy, when I walked in, he didn't know what I knew. First of all, he sat on a table above me while I was sitting in the chair talking to me. Oh yeah, your plan's doing real good. And I said, oh really, how? Well, it's doing real well. Tell me why. You don't know what I know, but you should be able to explain to me. You got my money. You're managing my money. So it's all about asking questions, putting it in there first, and then following up with the execution. We're working how many hours? We're going out. We're flying back and forth. You want to take out an hour and go see the person who's managing your money. Yeah. That's priority right there. That's the first and main thing. That management of those funds is what made me leave my job with the amount of money that I left with. I managed it, but they can do the same thing and just make them responsible for doing that.
Now that's the real nurse boss shift. Because oh, go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just gonna say that's so important, because a lot of nurses they have this mental block of they can't do anything outside of nursing or this retirement fund, but then you got most of us don't even know what it's doing or how it works or
Right.
why we need it or
Right.
how we can go in there. Cause I just learned a couple years ago that, they basically take your money and your retirement money and they invest it in what they see fit. But there could be some things that
Right.
you study, you get up under a coach, or you just read and and like you said, ask questions, and then you can make a few adjustments, and then that money is growing even more than it would if you just didn't even know what it was doing before.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely. That's the key right there. That's just one way of putting money away. Like I said, this when you're a W-2 and you love what you do, so you got to maximize that. So what ways with that W-2, travel versus even being on the floor, whatever we're doing, because we make this chunk of money. Yeah. We have to just kind of start looking at things different, because there's other careers that makes a lot of money too. Why are they not in the same predicament as nurses? Yeah. They still have assets. They still have things that they're doing. Their retirement accounts. Insurance is another missed insurance policies that have, and I want to use the word investment accounts. Wealthy people know how to monetize on these insurance policies. You taking that chunk of money, put it in a policy, have it protected, and then being able to borrow from that money to use it to buy other assets. We don't learn about that. Wealthy people know where to put this money to where it's protected and not taxable. We try to get away from Uncle Sam at the end of the day and still make the money that we make. So, what are those avenues? Insurance, your retirement accounts, and entrepreneurism, or buying assets. Those are pretty much the 4 things you're doing when you're a W-2. That's all you got. And then having your exit strategy for the year that you want, to know what your freedom number is. So when you walk away with enough to take care of yourself, but walk into whatever next endeavor that you want to have.
So I was saying, I think that's the real boss shift right there. Yeah. And just owning your money is something I know I had and I still am learning and growing in that space, but just being able to account for it and not just work. Cause our money comes in shifts, right?
Right.
I must have been a nurse probably 5 years before I even not 5 years, maybe 3 years. I must have been a nurse for maybe about 3 years before I realized that when I was picking up an extra shift at hospital A, where I worked at the time, I was losing money versus working a shift in registry.
Right.
I was getting more money. It didn't click to some years after being a nurse. So the little things that I was able to do, right? I feel like those were the shifts, and then just starting to really understand what my money is doing and what the exchange is, because it sure wasn't an even exchange.
No.
And like you said, you worked for 28 days and then you were sick for however long. That's not an even exchange.
No.
So to have the privilege of making it work for you, at least understanding your retirement. And because I pulled out money for my returnement and I didn't even know I could have took out a loan instead.
Right. Exactly.
Hand it to me, okay?
40%.
And then after, don't you get taxed again or something at the end? It was just like, I was so upset, but I didn't know. Right. And so I think one of the shifts as far as bossdom is concerned for nurses is to know your money. Like, we don't even really look at our paycheck.
Right.
We look at the number, like, what is the net? What is the gross? Like, is it more than, and then by the time they tell us, you picked up, an extra shift. Well, when I calculated it, that extra shift should have been $600, but it was actually $270.
Right.
How did that happen? Because but you don't understand money, and we lose a lot of money by not understanding money, for sure.
Money and time and our livelihood and our life. We give it up chasing after what? Like I said, when I did those, what was I don't even know what I was end up trying to get. I think it was just coming, and I was just like, I need more. I need more. I just, oh, another shift. I didn't even have something allocated to buy. It's just that I wanted to see it. It was that addiction to knowing that it was more there to get, not realizing the time, away from my girls. I'm a single mom. The time that I lost, just the time being ill afterwards. I couldn't even go upstairs to my bedroom for like 2 weeks. I was so sick.
Wow.
So, what's it really all about? What are we trying to attain? If you have a situation where I want to buy this house, or I want to buy an asset. First of all, you got to be buying an asset. I needed to be buying an asset with that money. And that for this time period, travel nurses, I'm going to travel. A lot of them travel I know a few people that traveled for a certain period of time to reach a certain point to purchase something that they knew would take them away from nursing. So you have a plan.
Right.
That's different.
Right.
A plan to do something different, but don't plan to fail. Have a plan so that you can, top that plan out and then actually have some results for it afterwards. So if you're doing something like that, it's a little different, but still you got to consider, don't make yourself sick. Money is just not worth it. Take it from us who've been there and have done it. Like you said, I'm gonna work that extra shift and I'm already calculating, double time and a half. And I don't know, I'm out here in California. This is one hospital. I won't say the names, but I mean, you can work shift if you work 5 days, 7 days, every day after that is time and a half, and then double, triple time. It's like
bonuses.
So they just go until I'm going in for 4 hours just so I won't lose this strip. And girl, it's Christmas.
Double back.
But even to add on that, Miss Donna, it is crazy because my moment, I have had a lot of aha moments, but another one of my moments was, the checks was great, money was good, until I saw people who were working way less, making way more.
That's right there.
They weren't even nurses or in healthcare or didn't even have a degree. And I was like, okay, I need to reevaluate this.
Right.
That's the point.
People are sitting up making money off of their stocks, making money off of their, investment properties, making money off of their knowledge. And here I am exchanging time for money, physically exhausted, missing time with my kids that are irreplaceable and technically priceless. Something has got to give.
Something has got to give. That's right. What were you saying, Christal?
Oh, no, I was just agreeing.
Yes. Yes. That point right there was, and when I left nursing, I literally was, and this came with just experience and time, over all those years. But I was working just 2 days a week. I worked 2 days and I was scheduled for 3, but I never worked that third day. So I just worked 2 days a week. My salary for 2 days a week was the same as when I was working full time, like 5 years back. And that just came with experience and time. So even getting to that point, having that in your exit strategy, I knew that I was like, okay, I'm ready to leave the floor, but I don't want to leave nursing if I can work a little less. And then, looking at the positions when you come in, what else can I do that can give me? So that bought me a little bit more time because I added days to still get ready for my next endeavor that I was planning for. So while you're in that, in that career and doing what you love in nursing, keep doing it. Do what you love. We love nurses. We're nurses for a reason. So we don't just want to leave for the money. You want to leave because it's time to go. Right. It's time you've reached whatever strategy or whatever exit strategy or whatever position in life that you're ready to do something different. I think of it like jury duty. Not relative to relative, but jury duty. If I'm the person that's on trial, who do I want to be the juror? Who do I want to be one of those 12 people? I want somebody like me. I don't want somebody who does not do anything, watches soap operas, watches stuff, because they're going to be very judgmental. Life has not hit them in a way that I would think they would be able to get the senses to determine, to think the way I think. So we do what we do because if I have my family member there, I want a person like me to take care of them. So in every avenue, that's why we need nurses. We need people like us. So I shouldn't have left 10 years ago. It wasn't my time. It was my time when it was my time, but I need to prepare for my time because personally, I still need to take care of myself. So that's a balance of taking care of yourself and taking care of what you really love to do. And nurses, we just love what we do. And if you're in it for just for the money, it's gonna wear you down, because you're gonna make the money,
Yeah.
but then what?
Right.
Then what?
Yes.
Yeah. So really, 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 really good avenue. It's good to have it. It's good to know that it's there. When you're looking at, I hear the travel nurses, a lot of them say, I'm not, that contract doesn't pay this. And I know that it's a different mindset, because that's, I talk to a lot of travel nurses. Their mindset is different from a floor nurse. And there's nothing wrong with either one, as long as what you're doing is satisfying to, for me, I'm, to God first, to yourself, because if you're self-fulfilled, you're going to be self-fulfilling to somebody else. And then knowing that you're, what is your why? Why did you start doing what you're doing? And the benefit is that we just get paid well for doing what we love.
Yes. Yes. And so
but don't let it break you down.
Right. Right. So Miss Donna, we haven't even told them about all your amazing, everything, projects, just investments. Because people are like, okay, what she got? Like, we want to know your social proof. So why
I know myself. Well, look,
$1 million in retirement. $1 million in retirement.
So my love for money, not my love for understanding and educating others on money, has led me into a very fulfilling career post nursing, because now I get to do what I love to do all the time, and I still get to. I'm still a nurse at heart, because what I'm teaching is heartfelt. And what I'm teaching is necessary and needed. And nurses take care of patients because what they need to do for them is necessary and needed. So it's just a little shift, but it increases your pocketbook value. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is everything that I do in relationship to partnerships in groups. So I have lots of investment clubs, because everything that I do, I want to teach others, and what better way to do it than to teach in groups instead of doing one person at a time. Right. So I started doing investment clubs, as I stated, as a nurse with those 7 nurses. We still have that investment club to date. And it's sitting pretty.
Can you tell them what an investment club is, though? Yeah. Can you break it down to
so an investment club is a group of people who get together with a sum of money and put that money together and invest. So it's invest and the club gets a title, because if it's a real investment club, it is its own entity. So it's either a partnership or an LLC, because you want the money to be general public money for the club. Okay. You don't want money going into one person's account. Okay. And you want it to be a taxable event to where all parties share the gain and the loss. Okay. So you want to have, so all my clubs are official clubs. They're either LLCs or partnerships. They all do something different. Everyone I teach in each one on the things that I've learned. I'm self-taught. I do have my master's in finance. I did that in 2011. I did that not because because I wanted to, really go to school. But I believe school nowadays, like, I was unimpressed with my first semester teacher when I was getting my master's. She didn't even have her own business. So, okay. So I was like, I already see, I just need this title. Now, there's other people's avenue and what they think about, grad school is a little bit different. Because I so self-taught, though, I went in with a different attitude. So I listened, learned, got my degree, and then taught myself just what I need to know. Nurses, you understand that, right? You go to nursing school, then you stop. You have to unlearn everything. And then what? You get hired and you get retaught. Right. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Tell us a few of what are you guys investing in the different, you don't have to, I know you have a lot. So
yeah. So just in general, the main things is real estate, stock market, companies. We do equity. One club, we do nothing, but we put our money into companies that need money so that we can own part of the company. So it's called equity ownership. So
Ooh.
we own, we pretty much buy ownership in companies. So we find companies that we really like and we go, hey, do you need some money? And they go, yeah. We go, we don't want our money back. We just want to own percent of your company. And so,
Ooh, sounds
so
like some Shark Tank, Nurse Tank stuff.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
right, yes. Because you got to analyze that company if you're going to get some money. So
Right.
we do that, and then I have like my family investment club, which I think everybody should have. Every
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
not only does it bring together the family, but it teaches the young ones what, a little bit,
Mhm.
a little bit about investing.
Yeah.
And I started this one with just my immediate family. With everybody got some, we know, but just pick the ones that's gonna be okay. That got a couple of dollars. You don't
Right.
have to do a lot. And I bought a boat. So I bought a boat and I'm here in California. I financed the boat. I am the bank. And so I said, you guys love to go, you go out and you pay all this money on people's boats. You need to have your own boat and then you rent the boat out. And so
Yeah.
I made each one of them give me $1,000. So it's 12 of us. That's $12,000. That was the down payment.
Mhm.
And then it's their job to each one of them have to rent the boat out at least twice in a year. So that revenue comes back to pay the boat off. So they're learning the principle of where you don't get to keep the boat for yourself until it's paid off. So now they're learning about an asset versus a liability.
Yeah.
An asset meaning it's a product or an item that's bringing back friends. Remember, bring back. We want to always, Miss Dollar say, bring some friends back.
Right.
So if it's not bringing friends back, it is a liability. So
Yeah.
them purses and stuff can be liabilities unless you can sell them back and get money back.
Yeah.
So you can turn everything into an asset. So this is teaching my sisters. I have my youngest nephew. He's 23. He's like, oh, okay, Auntie, how much money you need? He worked. He gave me like $400. He was like, I want to be in. So he worked to put the money in so that he knows that I said, guess what? You have part ownership in a boat. Now go tell your friends you own a boat. Ask them who else own a boat. And he was like, my daddy. I told my daddy's another story. My mom and my dad both had been drunk. My dad was a heroin addict for 15 years. He has been clean and sober now for 28 years. But when I was growing up, he was, so now, he's been clean and sober, but he just a working man. He got his little side truck. I said, Daddy, you want to own a boat? He said, yeah, Mama. I said, give me $1,000. So he gave me $1,000. I took them all out. He said, is this my boat? I said, it's your boat. It just feels good. It's ownership.
Oh, yeah.
But he paid $1,000. But he said, well, how? I said, because we're going to rent the boat out. That's called ownership. Let other people's money pay for our boat while they enjoy it. We enjoy it on the other days. And then we own this boat as a family.
Yeah.
So teaching those really simple principles with your with your young kids. So that's a different kind of club. So every club does something different and, has ownership and different. Those are the main three things that they do.
Yeah. Well, we haven't even gotten to your, I think is your biggest investment to date.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But talk a little bit about that because I'm so excited about this.
So that has happened as I've grown with just loving investing. I just I say every day, I love being an investor. I love being an investor. So I believe in, bringing things that are not as into they are, and just definitely focusing, keeping my eye on. I got stickies all over my house with things I want, affirmations, and so I always said, "Dang, what does it look like to own a hotel?" And that happened because I think the story everybody knows. I accidentally bought a hotel, didn't know what I was doing.
I love
Nobody
that story.
She accidentally bought a hotel.
I mean, it's an amazing story.
Right.
It's a story. We got to tell that one later. That was a longer story. I wanted one of my groups. I was like, hey, you guys, I just had this vision of owning a hotel because it's like one of these things. I want things for me to do so that I can show others they can do it. So I'm always looking at the unusual and outside the box. And so I would just look at these big, when I drive, I'm always like, how did they do that? Or why do they own that? Or why did this happen? And I would see these big old hotels and these big buildings, and I would say, who owns that? Who are these people? And why can't I have a piece of it? And you keep asking, and you are going to, it's going to come into fruition. Things are going to come your way. That's why you got to say what you want, and say it and say it and say it, say who you are, so that the whatever it is that you're attaining to will start, it will come to you. The people will come. And I was looking on something on YouTube, and it was a Black lady who was teaching women, how to own hotels. I was like, what the hell? What? I was like, let me get home. I got to see this. And I watched her in awe. This woman owns 4 hotels, and like something you would never think, how does it happen? It happened. And just like it happened for her. So 2 years later, I joined her program because I wanted to say, I want to do something that another woman, Black nurse, has never done, so that another woman, Black nurse, can come behind me and do the same thing. It's all about who am I going to pull up the ladder with me? Because at the top is lonely without friends and family. So you want to bring people with you. And so my endeavor has been fulfilled. So to date, I am purchasing a hotel in Honduras, 21 key hotel. I and it's nothing but God blessed. Everything that's happened has been out of the norm. Like I partnered with Wyndham. The program that they all of a sudden have a women. I am the first woman, Black woman. So it's for African American women. So it's a program to help teach us more about ownership. So I get all these perks. I get a little bit of money. I get some discounts. I get free stuff. I just get training. My staff gets training. It was supposed to be for 75 minimum. My hotel is 40. And they're like, oh, we're going to go ahead and accept you. I'm first. My attorney fees were none, just below normal. Normal is 50. I paid 10. It's just been where it's supposed to be. And it's just all come together. And I went out on this journey saying, you know what? I don't want to do this alone. I want other nurses to know that they can do it. So how about let me partner? So I said, I need 100 nurses, 10 grand a piece. We got $1 million to buy this hotel.
Yes.
This is hence amazing. We have
international hotel owner.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I know. And if there is someone, I need them to put it in the comments on this once this is aired, because I know there cannot be another Black nurse who owns a hotel. I'm sorry.
No,
there is not.
You're right to the Guinness Book.
Right.
We gonna start this, and I need y'all right.
I'm telling you, if paving the way was a person, Miss Donna, you definitely are doing it with that. I mean, because and as I'm listening to this story, and Christal, you can chime in, but I'm thinking to have the audacity, and I always say, you have to be audacious, especially when you are thinking big and you are outside of the box thinking, and then you really called it in. Because what are the chances that you would see this woman who is actually teaching other women, and her to be an African American at that, how to own a hotel?
Right.
Exactly. And that just goes to show
that right there is what now it's like. And I tell you, there's nothing that you can't do. You can't accomplish it. Somebody did it. A thing that when you look around you, a thing is just a thing. It was just a thing until somebody made it a thing. So somebody thought first, they took that thought and they put it into action, and it became a thing. So your thoughts are not crazy. So if you're thinking out there of something that you really want to do, take that thought and make it come into fruition. Speak on it, see it every day, envision it, put it on your refrigerator, put it on. I got stickies all through my house. I mean, look, I don't got that. Everything is not pristine because I'm like, I got to make sure I'm visual and seeing where I want to go. But for you nurses out there, do what you love now with the vision to do what you want to do later, or shorter period of time, or stay with nursing and then do it on the side, because remember, we got to have that side hustle because we got to do something with that money. But envision what you want, and just the what you need to get it is going to come to you. It's you're gonna still do some work, but look, don't get me wrong, I'm doing some work.
Right.
But I'm doing the work with something that I love. That's not like I'm going to, I'm going to a job that I hate and clocking in. I love what I do. So when I fall out from a long day, it's like, well done. I've accomplished one more thing that I want to, attain. So you too can do that same thing. The impossible is just, this is just one thing that I thought was impossible, but nothing's really impossible. We got astronauts. We got, it's just figure out what it is that you love and want to do. We're nurses. We can do anything. We take care of everybody, but we don't take care of ourselves and our mind, and push that forward to accomplish what you really want to accomplish after retirement or before.
Yeah, you had told us a couple of
Chris,
months
go ahead. I
ago.
know you were going to say something.
I was going to say, she told us a couple months ago on one of our morning calls that, when you have a thought of something you want to do, don't just let that go. And that's really stuck with me, because those thoughts are placed there for a reason. God has placed those thoughts in us to give us a curiosity to seek it out and think about it and go find someone who's done it before who can help us. So that was really powerful for me, to just not sit on those thoughts. Anything we can do, we can make it happen. And nurses are the biggest for, can I do it? Yes, you're a nurse. If someone with no degree can do something and be a millionaire, then why can't you with your degree?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
We just got to think different. Ms. Donna, even we are in the network, and every time I hear you, it's so inspirational, because, on this journey, there are times when, you think to yourself, am I doing the right thing? How dare me? Can I really, and then, you just, blow it out the water, because, you just give me so much hope. And and also I look forward to what's coming next for me, and, just trying to really dream even bigger. I sometimes say okay, I want to do something, or to think a thought that scares me so much, and then go after it.
Yes.
I feel
oh my gosh.
I feel like that's what you did with your hotel. It's where would somebody, I wouldn't even, I'm am I going to start with the Hilton? Where's that start? Being born into it.
Right. But it can be started. That's the thing. Now that I'm in it, the people that I meet and see, it's like they don't even think about it. It's just, a world that we didn't know, because we didn't even think it was attainable. And all that does is tell you that other thing is still attainable. That other thought that you had is still attainable. It is. We just need to act on it, because the things that, I think that I can't do, it comes because, you're putting it out there. The people will call. Somebody will, drop something in my, when I bought the first hotel, how that happened. I just got an email from somebody saying, hey, you want to buy a hotel? How does just because I've been putting it out into the universe and letting you buy a car, you turn around and you see that car all the time.
Yeah.
That didn't just happen. So that's why that thought, you put that thought out there, it came for a reason. That thought is going to bring to you the avenues and the ammunition that you need to bring that thought into a formable thing.
Yeah.
May it be a hotel, may it be, y'all don't know what I got planned next. I'm just going to keep on dreaming and keep bringing people in and let people know that, you too can do it. That's what it's all about. And just bringing you on the way to we're nurses. There's just nothing we can't do.
Yes. Wow, this has been such a powerful and impactful conversation.
Yes.
Chris and I just, first of all, want to, you to provide all of the listeners with some ways that they can contact you, be a part of this,
yes,
you have going on, because I know you mentor nurses as well.
Yes.
So let us know, how we can contact you and what you have going on that they can possibly be a part of and own a portion of a
A
hotel.
portion of.
Yes.
Yes. So I call it opportunities. I'm always looking for opportunities that are good for others. So
Mhm.
the best way is everything is my name. So my email is DonnaRosby.com. DonnaRosby.com. I'm sorry, my website is DonnaRosby.com. My email is info@DonnaRosby.com. My Facebook is Donna Rosby. My Instagram is @Donna Rosby. On my Instagram, on my bio, is a link for either contacting me, either setting up a chat with me, and more than number one is getting in on this hotel opportunity.
Yeah.
So I have made this so powerful for nurses to learn investing, because I am going to be teaching on the way, and not just teaching about the hotel, but teaching about investing and showing you that particular dollar that you will invest with me, how that's going to grow and what that means, understanding your market cap and understanding those numbers that we run from, that we say, I don't care about it. We care. We just don't understand it.
Yeah.
So making it so where it's available and easy to understand so that you can apply it to something else. And that's what it's all about, understanding your dollar. So that is still open. That will be open until the 28th is the closing of the first phase for the hotel. Partnership will include a minimum of $10,000, but a maximum of whatever you want to make higher than that. And I show you how that money is earned, how you earn money from that money, and how you learn with the partnership from the hotel. The other opportunities are investment clubs. If you think you might want to start your own investment club and you need some guidance and setup, I do help people set up their own investment clubs. That's on my link also. So via my email or my Instagram, all those links are there to contact me, or just set up a consult and talk about something that you think you might want to do that I could help you with. Budgeting, tax preparation. My taxes, we won't talk about that right now, because that business is, I love it, love it, love it. I've had it for a long time, but I'm definitely gonna not do as many taxes, but tax questions is what's most powerful. I understand now that I don't have to do it to help you understand it. When you go to your CPA, there's just certain things you need to know and ask. I was audited and charged over $100,000 because I didn't understand my taxes, which is why I became a tax person. So even if I can educate you on your bottom number, how to look at your taxes in 3 minutes and understand and see if there's something wrong or right. Things like that. Why you need insurance, all things that cover and protect you, your liability. Why you need insurance. My brother, my mother, and my nephew were all killed, 2 murdered and 1 killed within a 6-month time frame. Nobody had insurance. So they came to Donna. So I'm using my hard-earned money. Whereas if I just would have had an insurance policy, an insurance policy that have other benefits, little things that if you just twerk those 3 things could protect your future. If your future's protected, then you can retire earlier. If you can retire earlier, you can do the things that you want to do after nursing or while you're doing nursing. So it comes full circle. So consult on one of the 2 things, getting in on the hotel investment, starting your own investment club, any of those things, I'm there for you. At Donna Rosby.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Donna. This has been an amazing conversation. And we just want to remind those who are listening to make sure you go ahead and subscribe.
Bring some friends with you. Listen.
Yes.
Yep.
Bring
That's
some nurse
right.
friends. They need to hear that. We all need to hear. There's 4 million nurses in the United States. Listen, every one of them needs to hear this.
What you gonna do with that dollar, right?
Yes.
So, Miss Donna, we want you to close us out with some final words. Like if you could just kind of give something that you know is gonna impact those who are listening to this episode, to close us out. Just something that could help them. Something that could just get somebody to that to make
that next level,
that little next step. What would that
Let
be?
me see. Oh my gosh. What would I recommend? So what your next step? So somebody Okay. So wherever you are right now, in any situation that you are right now, identify, first of all, where you want to go and what you want to be next. And then figure your next step is to think in your head how you're going to get there. So rule number one, 10% of everything you earn is yours to keep. Pay yourself first. That's number one, because that's going to pay you first and get you out first, not last. Yeah. Rule number two, know your freedom number. Identify that number immediately, because your freedom number is just as it stated. What you're going to do today is what's going to help you do something tomorrow. Your tomorrow could be 3 years or 5 years. Have a plan to do something, or you will plan to fail. So plan your exit strategy right now financially, what that looks like. See what you want your future to be and see. That's going to take dollars. Where's those dollars going to come from? It's from number one and number two, 10%. Number two, a plan, exit strategy. And then number three, what that exit strategy looks like. So know where you're going and have the dollars, have a destination to get you there.
Woo, that was good. Awesome.
Yes. So this, and I just have to say, yes, I do this. And people say, Donna, what are you? I love the Nurse Boss Mob. And Dr. Jones will know. I was like, I want to get in. What you want to come over there for? I said, because two things, I'm really high on energy, and people, just good, natural people who are doing what I'm doing. We might be doing different avenues, but we're still nurses at heart. We are nurses. And so what we do in our careers might be a little bit different. I don't have a med spa, but all that money y'all gonna be making following Dr. Jones and Dr. Parker, that you're gonna need me to tell you what to do with it.
Exactly.
So it comes full circle. So it's it's the circle you meet and who you're around that helps you strive and be better. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room, but you don't want to be the dumbest person in the room too. You want to be in a circle that's like-minded. Like-minded. It's not career based, it's like-minded. We think the same thing and we love the same people, which is our patients.
We're going to definitely have you back to talk about investing in yourself. Because, see, we talk about investing. We didn't even get to the investing in yourself, which is that's not on yourself, but in yourself.
In yourself. That's right. That's right.
That is a good thing.